It is my pleasure to welcome our speaker today, Soraya Pereira. I think it's well known in the Portuguese statistics community. She is a very recent PhD. She got a PhD in 2018. She has co-authored several papers, and she is now a postdoc fellow at CAU. Her current interests are spatial modeling and extremes. I want to thank Soraya for accepting our invitation. And the screen is yours, Soraya. You can start whenever you're ready. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the invitation. It's a pleasure to be here discussing this work with all of you. I'm going to talk about statistical learning for drivers of moderate and extreme rainfall. And this is a joint work with Miguel de Carvalho from University of Edinburgh, Paula Pereira from Instituto Politécnico de Setúbal, and Patrícia Zea Bermúdez from University of Lisbon. So as what was the motivation of this work? As we know, Madeira, island of Portugal, has suffered a variety of extreme rainfall events over the last 2 centuries, including the events of October 1803, with between 800 and 1,000 casualties, and also the event of February in 2010, with a death toll of 45 people and an estimated damage of 1.4 billion euro. So we know that it's not, we cannot control these natural disasters, but it's very important to understand what are the most significant drivers for these disasters, and in order to help to give some support to the decision makers. And if there is someone here that doesn't know where is located this island of Portugal, we can see here in this area. It's located in the Atlantic Ocean, about 900 kilometers southwest of mainland Portugal, as we can see here in this map. And here we have a picture of one of these extreme rainfall events that, how you can imagine, causes several damages in Madeira. The questions we will try to answer in this presentation are: what are the drivers of moderate and extreme rainfall in Madeira? And can we identify which drivers are significant to explain the moderate rainfall, but not to explain the extreme rainfall, and vice versa? So these are the questions that we will try to answer. So what kind of methods we can use to answer these questions? In this case, we are interested not only on the central part of a distribution, but also in detail. So as a starting point for modeling, we look at the extended generalized Pareto distribution. That is an extension of this well-known distribution, generalized Pareto distribution, well-known in statistics of extremes literature. And this extension was proposed by Papastopoulos and Town in 2013, and Navo et al. In 2016. And the cumulative distribution function is given by this expression here. So it's a composition between a function g and the generalized Pareto distribution function. So where in this case, we focus on this function g here, that is v to the power of kappa, a parameter kappa. So in this case, the cumulative distribution function of this extended generalized Pareto distribution is not nothing more than the generalized Pareto distribution function to the power of a parameter kappa, as we can see here. And what is the role of this parameter kappa? In this case, it will give more flexibility in the central part of the distribution. And we can see this, for instance, in this graph here, where we represent the density function for the extended generalized Pareto distribution for different values of this parameter kappa. Naturally, when kappa is equal to 1, it corresponds exactly to the generalized Pareto distribution. In this case, this corresponds to this narrow curve that we can see here. And when kappa increases, the shape of the central part of the distribution changes, as we can see here. So in this case, this parameter kappa controls the shape of the central part of the distribution, and the parameter xi is the shape parameter, one of the parameters of the generalized Pareto distribution, and is known as the extreme value index and controls the rate of decay of the tail. So what we propose here is to allow this parameter kappa depending on the covariates. So we have this function g that is v to the power of kappa, but where now we allow this kappa depending on these regressors through this linear predictor that we can see here. And why we are proposing that? Because in this way we can, doing the inference and estimating this, doing the inference for these regression coefficients here, we can identify which covariates are significant to explain this parameter kappa, and since it is the parameter that controls the central part of the distribution, so we can find which drivers are more significant for the central part of the distribution, in this case for the moderate extreme when we are thinking in the real data application. But we are also interested in identify the most significant drivers for the extreme rainfall. So we also propose here to allow the parameters that control the decay of the tail, in this case these parameters xi and sigma, that are the parameters of the generalized Pareto distribution. We will allow also to depend, these parameters to depend on a covariate. So the problem is that when we allow these parameters depending on covariates and also kappa, simultaneously doing the same for kappa, we have some computational problems due to the dependence between these parameters. And so there is a need here for a parameterization, but we are interested in a particular parameterization because it's very important here to keep the parameters for bulk and tails separated. So here we will look for a parameterization of this type or this type, where the initial parameters that we have are these three parameters of this extended generalized Pareto distribution, kappa, sigma and xi, and we are looking for a parameterization, for instance, of this type, where we have now a new parameter nu that depends only on these two parameters, sigma and xi. It's very important. We cannot mix here. We are not interested in mix here the parameter kappa in order to keep separated these parameters that controls the central part of the distribution and the tail of the distribution. Or alternatively, we can consider this parameterization also with a new parameter that depends only on sigma and xi. And in this case, we considered this parameterization that we present here. This parameter V is given by this expression, depending on sigma and xi. This is the, common for the generalized Pareto distribution. It guarantees the orthogonality. And so for kappa equal 1, we guarantee the orthogonality with this reparameterization. And we proved that for a neighbor of k equal to 1, this is enough to guarantee a quasi-orthogonality, and indeed the simulation study showed that this is reasonable, and we have no computational problems using this parameterization. So what is the full version of our model here? We have our function g that is given by v equal to the power of kappa, that depends on x, but also these parameters nu and xi also depend on a set of covariates. So now we have conditions to do the inference, to make the inference and conclude which drivers are significant for the central part of the distribution and which drivers are significant for the tail of the distribution. So to explain the extreme values. In this case, in the real data application that explain the extreme rainfall. So, what we propose to do regarding the inference here, we also propose a lasso type specification of our model to do the inference. And why? Well, first I will introduce briefly this lasso type specification in case there is someone that doesn't know or doesn't remember. So the lasso type model is a method for estimation in linear models, was proposed by Tibshirani in 1996. And the motivation for this method of estimation was the limitations of the ordinary least squares estimates, mainly prediction accuracy and interpretation. Well, we know that there are some standard techniques for improving these OLES estimates. And we know, for instance, the subset selection that improves the interpretation of the model by selecting the most significant covariates. And there is also, for instance, this ridge regression method that improves mainly the prediction accuracy of the estimates. But we also know that, for instance, they have some limitations. For instance, in subset selection, small changes in the data can result in very different models being selected. And in ridge regression, it doesn't not set any coefficients to 0, and thus does not give an easily interpretable model. So there are still some limitations with these methods, and that is the motivation for this lasso method that was proposed by Tibshirani, and that's the motivation also why we are using that here. So this lasso method shrinks some coefficients and set others to 0. So it will allow to solve simultaneously the prediction accuracy problem and the interpretation, because the variable selection is done during the inference process and not after that. So, but how it can be done? What is the idea of this lasso method? In a frequentist approach, the idea is to maximize the likelihood with an upper bound on the sum of the absolute values of the model parameters. So the idea is similar to the ridge regression, as you know, but for whereas in ridge regression, this constraint is imposed in the sum of the squared values of regression coefficients. Here in lasso type specification, this constraint is imposed in the sum of absolute values of these coefficients. And in this case, imposing this restriction here is equivalent to subtract this Lagrangian penalty, as we can see here. But now we are not interested in, this is the frequentist idea of this lasso method, but now we are interested in a Bayesian perspective. So what it corresponds in a Bayesian perspective. In this case, the shrinkage can be performed by defining a prior distribution for the model parameters, and this is explained here in this paper of Paulson et al. In 2019, and they make a direct correspondence between the penalty functions and their corresponding prior distributions. So between the frequentist approach and the Bayesian approach here to consider this lasso type specification. And in the case of the lasso type specification, they also do the correspondence for other kinds of specifications here. But for instance, in this case, for a lasso type specification, they described, they proved that this corresponds to assume a Laplace prior distribution in the regression coefficients here. As we can see here in this table, they do that correspondence, and they prove that in the paper. So this is exactly what I just said, and that we will assume here. So we will assume here a lasso type specification. So we will consider this Laplace prior distribution for the regression coefficients here, and the gamma prior on lambda squared. So finally, we have the full version of the model here. So it's an extended generalized Pareto distribution that depends on these three parameters, kappa, sigma, and xi, where each parameter is modeled through these linear predictors depending on covariates, and where these regression coefficients here have Laplace prior distributions in order to consider this lasso type specification, improving the prediction accuracy and the interpretation. So this model will allow us to identify which are the most significant drivers for the bulk and what are the most significant drivers for the tail. Before I go to the real data problem that we have here, I will show some results regarding the simulation study. We start by this part to assess the performance of the model. So in the simulation study, we considered 4 scenarios, where the first scenario considers light effects for bulk and light effects for tail. The scenario 2 considers light effects for bulk and large effects for tail. Scenario 3, we have large effects for bulk and light effects for tail, and scenario 4, large effects for bulk and large effects for tail. So we consider these 4 different scenarios, and for each one, we simulated 250 observations from a conditional extended generalized Pareto distribution. And the covariates were simulated from independent standard uniform distribution. So we repeated this one-shot experiment 250 times to the Monte Carlo simulation study to assess the performance. And here we presented the results regarding for each scenario, for each coefficient, regression coefficient. associated to each parameter of interest here, kappa, nu, and xi. Okay, so as we can see, the results are reasonable, and in general, the model captures very well the significance of the covariates for each in each scenario, and for the bulk, so the significant coefficients for kappa, and for the tail, so the covariate significant for nu and xi. So we can proceed for the motivation of this work, the real data problem, in this case, the drivers of moderate and extreme rainfall in Madeira. For that, we use the data from the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, information available here in this link. And our variable of interest is the total monthly precipitation. And we consider these potential drivers for extreme rainfall, these variables described here, AMO, ENSO, NP, PDO, SOI, NAO. The sample period is from January 1973 to June 2018, and that includes several extreme rainfall episodes. And the sample size is 532. So here we have the results, the credible bands for each regression coefficient associated to each parameter of interest here, kappa, nu, and xi. And as we can see, for instance, for kappa, the most important drivers are NP and ENSO. So this is the drivers, the most significant drivers to explain the moderate rainfall, and the most important drivers to explain the extreme rainfall are the drivers selected here in this associated to these parameters. So in this case, NAO and ENSO, and also we can see the same here. So these are the drivers that the most significant drivers for extreme rainfall, these two variables, NAO and ENSO. So, and here we present the residuals to assess also the performance of the model here. And in conclusion, indeed, this model allows us to identify which covariates are significant for the bulk but not for the tail, and vice versa. And the lasso type specification of this model allowed to do a direct variable selection in a very efficient way. As future work, and that's what we are already doing in this moment, it's extend this model by resorting to a generalized additive model where the smooth function of each covariate is modeled using B-spline basis functions. And for that, for the inference, we are considering here a group lasso type specification, shrinking groups of regression coefficients towards zero. We are working on that approach now, and well, if you are interested in know something more about this talk is based on a paper that is available on our paper that is for now available on the archive, and that I can show here. It corresponds to this paper here, an extreme value Bayesian lasso for the conditional bulk and tail. and it's available here in the archive for now. Here you can find also some references that we use in this work, and that's it. Thank you very much for your attention.